everybody. Let me hold on just a second. Let's see if I am able to be heard. I've got English breakfast this morning, which, yeah, how can you go wrong? Sometimes also known as British tea, basically a basic black tea. So, what are you drinking today? Huh? Jen's drinking coffee, or is better known here in the house, snarky juice, because she gets snarky.
I do not.
She does too. The puppies want to go into the yard, but they have to wait, be patiently waiting. Oh my goodness. I had a lovely weekend. Morning, Miranda. You remembered. Oh, thank you. I know. I'm back. Wow. My hope is to be on sprints this I have a question. If I click this, does it show up? Is her chat showing up or no?
Waiting for you to catch up.
Interesting. Unlike StreamYard, you can't click. In OBS, apparently, you can't click on someone's chat and have it show up. So, I need to do a little research then. But I think the setup's a lot better than last week. I'm still getting used to OBS, but I worked on this Saturday, so on my planned day. So this week I did my TBR list for next year, and I need to go into Goodreads and fix, because I've read way more books than I've put on my Goodreads, which naughty me. So I need to add all the books that I have read, and then I need to set up my reading goal for next year, which I'm going to keep it about at 100. Some years I make it, some years I don't. I think I'm pretty close this year with as much as I've read while I was laid up. But yeah, so we are enjoying watching a few. Jen is on a Bond kick. We have finally got to the Daniel Craig Bonds, which I much prefer, and so we are working our way through.
We have two more movies.
Two more Bond films, and then our housemate. We've been hanging out in the evening and watching movies, and we are watching the Archmage's Bride, which is a anime, and then we are watching a Thai show. I think it's Thai. Yeah, it's Thai. Called Love is in the Air, which is a little TV series. So, yeah, I'm also reading subtitles. All right. So, last week we talked about why we ignore burnout, and how that there's hidden signs that you're coming into burnout, and which was all in my blog last week. This week is practical ways to combat burnout, and I really wanted to talk about the fact that I think burnout really shows itself in creative individuals, because we are relying so much on our creative space, our creative mind, to come up with ideas, and then on top of that, life happens, and on top of that, being an entrepreneur, Because if you do art and you're selling art, if you do writing and you're selling your writing, if you do poetry and you're trying to get your poetry picked up for competitions or submissions, or if you're working on a chapbook of poetry, it's so many things that creative people have to be entrepreneurs in some respect, that we tend to fall into burnout quite quickly. I mean, I'm not saying that people who, have a similar, okay, you're going to go in and you're going to do accounting, I'm sure you do get burnout because the same thing over and over again, I'm sure is, but I think creatives, I'll have to look into that. That is something I'm going to look into, is how creatives deal with encounter burnout versus non-creative entrepreneurs. So that's interesting. Have you found yourself close to burnout? I did not realize how close I was. I'm glad I had some downtime, forced downtime. Please find out that you have burnout before you end up with the forced downtime. Exhaustion is a real thing, and you can be hospitalized for it. So please, please be safe. So look forward to some art and things about burnout and how to keep it at bay and how to take care of yourself, because that's very important. So make sure your self-care Sundays, or whatever day you do self-care, or a time block that you do self-care, keep those up. Take care of yourself, take breaks, enjoy life away from everything. Oh my goodness. But it is so good to see you all. I hope to be sprinting this weekend. Yeah. So, how is the end of November treating you all? Jen is doing her letters. She writes her pen pals every week, whether they write her back or not. She's way better at that than me. I wait till you write me. Speaking of writing me, you can write me fan mail. So I'm using StreamYard for my live sprints. Yeah, I'm taking more time away from my writing this month. I'm sewing a t-shirt blanket. I've seen some of those pictures. That's really cool. And using the library's sewing machine. Hope to finish this afternoon. Ooh, you're way farther ahead than I had anticipated. Yeah, I love that our library also has sewing machines and all sorts of fun things that you can use. So, are we ready for reading? I think so. It will be a little early today, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, we are on chapter 21, and if you are watching this later, if you're watching the rewatch, if you want to hear the previous chapters of The Fire Inside, there is a playlist called Tea Time Fire Inside, and that's where all the previous chapters are. If you would like to read book 1, it is its own playlist, which is Tea Time Into the Fire. So check those out. Okay, so this is a Tony chapter. We're on chapter 21. It's hard to remember Anna and I haven't been alone since Seattle. Between the guys coming and going at all hours, Paige working frantically to fill the holiday orders, and now meetings with detectives and added police presence, there's hardly been a moment of peace. Hopefully tonight we'll get our heads out of work and our worries. Anna looks amazing. That dark blue dress conforms to her tiny curvy body, stunning beneath the blonde curls piled high on her head. You look lovely, I say when I open the car door for her. She blushes and thanks me while she climbs into the SUV. I need a break. It'll be nice to pretend to be a normal couple out on a dinner date. I thought the same thing. Then I laugh and turn out on the road, heading left on Lancaster Street toward Main Street. I'd made reservations at a local Lebanese restaurant near the historic stockyards earlier. The waiter leads us to a table with tiny stage where belly dancers perform. I order their famous chicken, and Anna picks the lamb shank. The smells of spice and roasting meat lend an exotic air to the night. Anna's skin glows in the candlelight, and the flames reflect in her jade eyes. I haven't been here before, she smiles in a pleasant surprise, lifting the ornate glass of mint tea to her mouth. I yearn to kiss her, to taste the sweet flavor of her lips as our tongues dance. I clear my throat and shift in my seat to make myself more comfortable after that image of Anna. And Anna giggles. The sound fills me with optimism. She's come so far in such a short time, and I'm in complete awe of her bravery and strength. We flirt all evening, chatting about our relationship and what all the guys did while we were in Seattle. I tell her about bringing up the idea for my company to them and see if they want to join me. We talk about what I'll do if none of them do, and we discuss other options. Anna tells me about her progress on the winter sales campaign for her business and plans for her spring line. We avoid talking about what she'll do after she's safe and my job here ends. Will I leave for Seattle? That she lives in Fort Worth feels like a gulf too wide to ford. For now, we're both in silent agreement. The issue is too tender to touch, and so goes unspoken. After a lovely dinner, we head home. Walt waits at the front door, reminding me of an anxious father. My anxiety rises as we pull into the dark lot. Seeing him there breaks the spell, and reality seeps into our safe bubble. It steals Anna from me again. I sense her curling inward, tucking herself away, protecting herself from further hurt. Turning my body towards hers, I hold my hand out, palms up, in her direction. Whatever she needs, I'll give her. I promise. There's no pressure on how we finish the night. We can do whatever you need or want. She takes a large, deep breath, her shoulders rising and chest expanding, but she seems to come back to herself a bit. Snuggling until I sleep is the most amazing way to end the night, she says, as she releases the air in her lungs. Your wish is my command. I open my door. She's giggling when I help her out and let her use my arm to climb down from the SUV. The next morning, the deep timbre of male voices coming from the living room disturbs my sleep, but the thought of getting out of the bed makes me growl. The warmth of Anna's body next to mine drives me to ignore them, but I know I can't do that. Having dressed, I grumble and follow the voices of the enticing aroma of freshly brewed coffee. A war meeting is taking place around the table. Elliot has his laptop perched in front of him, and Malcolm is typing away on his cell, playing a game from the beeps and crashes coming from it. Nate flips through the exterior cameras on another computer, and Walt is on a phone with someone of rank from the tone of respect in his voice. My presence garners their attention, and Malcolm nods over at the coffee pot. Walt finishes his call and turns to the room just as I bring the cup to my lips. My FBI contact has information about the deep web website Anna's photos were on, he says, walking to a chair at the dining table. They removed the site and are prosecuting all those they can find in connection to it. That's good for any woman who didn't know they were on the site, Elliot replies as he clicks through some stuff on his computer. I look at his screen as I pass him, but I can't make heads or tails of it. It reminds me of DOS back in the day, though different from what I remember. Yes, it is, Walt continues. They're sending us a list to run against known associates of Sebastian. It should come to your email soon. I'll call Detective Davis and send him an invitation to join our war meeting. I pull out my phone and give him what we've learned are initial pleasantries. He agrees to head our way in a few moments. Meanwhile, Nate leaves to walk around the building without uttering a word. He's stressed. Walt motions after him. If you didn't have as deep a bond with Nate as we do, you wouldn't notice the tension that's crawling along his shoulders the whole morning. Do we know what's up? Malcolm wants to learn. Something to do with a phone call he had last night, Elliot pipes up, clicking away on the keys at his fingertips. I got the list from your friend, Walt. I'm running it through the program now. I motioned towards Nate's cell sitting on the tabletop and finished the question with a look. If you're asking if I snooped or cloned his phone and checked his contacts, no. I'd never do that to my friends. He gives us a smile, fingers flying across the keyboard without so much as a glance up. We all know he's full of shit before the words ever leave his mouth. He was talking to Alyssa, and from the sound of things, they're having a relationship tiff. As if we had any doubt you snoop or clone our phones, Malcolm says dryly. Well, duh. You aren't all my friends. Elliot laughs as Malcolm tosses a wrapper from a fast food chain at Elliot's head as the detective walks up to the door. After bringing Detective Davison up to speed, Elliot whistles as his laptop beeps at him. We have a few names, but this one's interesting. Landon, Anna's friend, entered the site from an internet cafe the day before Leela Alexander went missing. The knowledge drops like a weight over the entire room. Let's keep checking and get all the facts before we talk to Anna about it, I tell him, knowing this will be another blow for her. She comes out of her bedroom to start her work at 8, and by then we're on phones and updating timelines on the board. Raising from my chair, I walk towards her and softly kiss her on the forehead. Elliot walks up to us with a coffee cup in hand. Here's some liquid energy. His eyes crinkle on the sides from his joke, and she smiles. I know she can feel the tension in the room. Anna gives everyone a good morning, including the detective. After collecting a fresh muffin, she heads back over to her desk and wakes her computer when Detective Davison gets a call from his team. We found information on the letters. They're all coming from the downtown post office, which puts our suspect on another short list, the detective tells the room as he disconnects the phone. We add that to our timeline. The facts aren't looking good for Landon. I don't want to say it's him, but this is all we have right now. Walt and Malcolm head back to the safe house we keep nearby. Nate fidgets throughout the day, keeping me on edge. To be honest, it isn't just Nate's anxiety that has me picking up lunch and running other errands. I don't want to tell Anna that Landon is not only on our suspect list, but fast moving to the top. I keep putting it off, even though I'm sure she's seen the names on Walt's whiteboard. That evening, Malcolm shows up to follow Paige back to her apartment just as Detective Davison calls. Tony, they've got another woman who looks like Anna reported missing. Last seen with Landon at a martini bar nearby. I'm going to see if I can get a warrant for him now. I understand. We want to be in on this, I tell him, and he agrees before heading to the courthouse. Anna, please sit down for this. My heart is heavy with the burden of telling her. She takes a seat on the couch and curls her legs under herself. We've a suspect, I say as I perch on the other love seat facing her. That's great news. She wrings her hands in her lap. This morning we found out that the FBI took down the deep website Dryer placed your photos on. They gave us a list of people who accessed the site. I get up and move around the couch to Nancy to sit. That's a weight off my shoulders. I've been struggling not to think about it. Tell the truth, she admits. We have every reason to suspect Landon, I say in a rush, seeking to let it out as fast as possible, as if that will lessen the pain. Landon? Her voice rises defensively. You're wrong. You told me 2 days ago at lunch that someone was blackmailing him. I pause as she continues. What if he's being blackmailed? What if there's a bigger threat attempting to make everyone suspect Landon? She climbs from the couch and walks to the kitchen as I move to the dining table. He might have lied and told you that, so you would come to that conclusion. He could have been playing us the whole time, all the way back to the trial. Anna looks shocked, and I pull out a chair and fall into it. All we have are the facts. We need to go where the clues lead us, and that's Landon. If we can get to him before another woman ends up dead, before you end up... I can't finish the sentence, the knowledge causing me to shudder violently. Remember that someone has already died. I try to make her understand that not only her life is held in the balance. I rub my chest with a fist, trying to ease the pressure building there. She pulls out a chair and sits across from me. I tell her how we're making plans to work with the Fort Worth PD when they go get Landon the next evening. I think you're wrong, a resigned tone to her voice. I can't take the chance with your life. Everything suggests that it's him, or at least that he's connected somehow, I reply, running my hands through my hair in frustration. I lay my arm on the table, palm up, giving her a chance to take my hand. She regards the offer and then calmly puts her arms in mine. A sigh of relief releases all the built-up tension in my shoulders at once, and I catch the first deep breath I've had since we started this conversation. No matter what happens, we're in it together. So that was chapter 21. So tension is brewing. Poor Anna. Poor Tony. I hope you've been enjoying these chapters. It's been so wonderful to get back to you guys and to read for you guys and talk. Speaking of, I don't know if you notice in the corner that we got a lot of stuff going on. I have a Cyber Monday sale that's happening, and it's one day left for that sale, which goes for my planners, and also I have a sale on my reading journal, which you can pick up on Amazon. I did my TBR list in here and my reading goal, and also Astrology Seasons, which I haven't ordered an author copy of yet, which is a astrology, using the astrology signs throughout the year to cycle through the year in a magical way. So those are on sale until Tuesday, so you have one more day that those will be on sale. Right now, I think Into the Fire is free. If not, it's still at 99 cents. So I think the ebook is free for a few more days because I did the free promotion. So you can get it for free if you would like to get Into the Fire for free. So just head on over to the link down below, authoressaycrow.com. I will be at the start of the year doing a author rebrand, so the site will be under construction in January, just heads up. But I have some very cool plans for you guys. If you are a writer watching this later, author, creative, poet, whatever it may be, we have a writing group called On the Wings for Writers. The link is down below. That is who we are doing our cookbook through. Right now we have our second cookbook up on Amazon. We have cookbook 1 and 2. Our second one, all the proceeds go to Meals on Wheels America. I am working on the manuscript for our third cookbook, which will be benefiting The Store, which is an awesome organization out of Nashville, Tennessee. So yeah, can't wait to see you all. Check all that out. Links are down in the doobly-doo. And I will be back with you guys Friday for productivity and writing sprints. So check that out. Make sure you like and subscribe so that way you can find out all about that stuff. So I hope you have a lovely week. I hope that you have some lovely motivation, and I will see you later.